All right, guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Tweener Talk. We have a good episode today. We're going to be previewing ATP Cup, going over all the groups A through D, and that should take up a good chunk of time. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be on our episode this week. Akil, how are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. We're creeping closer and closer to the openings, the major opening stretch of our tennis season. And tonight we actually get a couple of I think Djokovic, Nadal, and Serena and a couple other big names are playing in an exhibition in Adelaide. So yeah, that should be fun. And yeah, ATP Cup draws obviously, or groups obviously the biggest news in the past week. So yeah, it should be fun getting into that.
All right, yeah. So let's get started with ATP Cup. We have 4 groups, A through D. And it's pretty much like Davis Cup, but I think a lot cooler. In Group A, we have Serbia, Germany, and Canada. What do you think of that group?
Um, I mean, yeah, I think I think both the Serbia and Spain groups are awesome. You get a lot of really pretty good matchups straight off the bat. I think I think Canada is going to be playing Serbia straight off the bat, if I'm not mistaken. So Djokovic Shapovalov will be first there. And Zverev also obviously poses a lot of challenges, depending on which Zverev shows up. To be honest, last year he played horrible at ATP Cup, so yeah, we'll see. But on paper, a lot of really good, intriguing matchups, and you know, all three of them have really good number twos in addition to great number ones.
Yeah,
Lajovic, Serbia, Struff for Germany. He's also pretty dangerous, and Raonic, of course, yeah, for Canada. Raonic, he had a pretty good year last year coming back from injury, and yeah, any one of those could honestly come out of that group. Uh, they're really deep, all of them.
yeah, I agree. The first day session matches are Lajovic and Raonic, and then Djokovic and Shapovalov. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Although, what time would it be for us? Like, would day session be like 9 p.m. for us?
Yeah, day session's probably gonna be probably anywhere from I would think anywhere from 9 to 11 midnight ish. Australia almost always has us staying up, so I would assume it's gonna be those matches are still probably gonna finish closer to midnight.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, so the favorites in that group are definitely Serbia because of Djokovic. How
Yeah.
much of a challenge do you think Shapovalov can give to Djokovic?
He came really close to beating him last year at this event. They played a really tough match, and I have been really impressed with Shapovalov's growth over the last year. I thought that he kind of stagnated after breaking through in 2017 when he beat Nadal in that match in Montreal, but over the last year, I think he's made great strides. He's a top 10 player now, and yeah, I would think he'll keep up on that pace. But this early in the season, I don't think he'll beat Djokovic. I give him maybe a 25% chance of beating Djokovic he'll be fresh. Everyone will be fresh. So yeah, I don't think he'll beat Djokovic, but I would favor Raonic against Lajovic in that Canada. So I think that'll come down to doubles.
Yeah, I remember ball boying actually at the Western Southern Open for Raonic versus Lajovic, and that was a pretty tense. Like I won 3 sets, and that was a good match. So you're right; it definitely could come down to the doubles. And we also have Germany in that group. Who do you think? I don't. Based on the draw, it looks like there's no second place you get in just if you win the group, you're in the semis. So do you
Yeah, I'm not.
think
I,
there's any chance Germany or Canada could stun Serbia?
yeah, I think so because I'm pretty sure in this ATP Cup they're only allowed two players because they were trying to. I'm pretty sure they were only allowed two players this year to keep as few amount of people there with all the uh, uh precautions they're taking with COVID and all. So um that's why I'm pretty sure only two guys are gonna be on each team, so they're going to be playing the doubles too. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that changed this year just because they're trying to keep as few people there as possible. But that being said, you have guys on each team that are like there just for doubles. Like for Serbia, that would be like Troitsky and Troitsky, and I think that's it. That would be him. And yeah, I don't think you have those guys this year because I'm pretty sure it's only two people on each team. So those two singles players are also gonna have to play doubles. So yeah, I think yeah, anybody could come out of this group. Obviously, you have to back Serbia with them having the best player in the world. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see either team upset them because I would assume that would mean Djokovic is going to be playing doubles, and he's not great at doubles. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that definitely puts a lot of pressure on him if it does come to a 1-1 situation and it relies on doubles. But now I think the toughest group and definitely the most interesting group, Group B, where we have Spain, Greece, and Australia. And honestly, I want to say Spain will come out on top, but I truly think this group is a wild card. I think anyone can come out on top.
uh, I see that, but for me, I think Spain is more. This group is more straightforward than the last one. Like I think I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those three come out in Group A. But I'm pretty sure Spain will come through in Group B just because I mean Greece doesn't really have a second player after Tsitsipas that's like you're as confident in as an RBA. And
That's true.
uh yeah, I don't think Greece will like Tsitsipas is all they've got. And I'm pretty sure this is the case with only those two players being there for each team, but this is all it's all depending on that. I think let me just make sure that's the case. But yeah, that's why I would pick Spain. And Australia doesn't have Kyrgios, so that's the biggest X factor with them. Without him, like I don't trust Demonor to beat either. I wouldn't. I think he's a really big underdog to both Nadal and Tsitsipas, and especially Nadal. But
He gave him a
yeah,
good match last year.
yeah, and that's another thing. Like I think I mean I think the crowd really played a big part in it last year.
That's true.
He really seemed to be spurred on. He played some of the best tennis I've ever seen him play. And like last year I think I felt Nadal was a bit more fatigued heading into Australia than he should have been. Like he played a lot of tennis to close 2019 and he played a lot of tennis to begin 2020. So like
Yeah,
I just think that's an outlier, and I think that in general Nadal is gonna he's gonna eat someone like that for breakfast because like it, there's no big weapon with Demonor, and you can't beat Nadal just being a speedster and
yeah, that's
defending.
true. That's true. The Bautista Gu Millman match should be interesting because you honestly don't know what you're going to get out of Millman. He could come out swinging, or he could just play like garbage and just be a hothead on the court. I don't know. Australia, when you think of Australia, Kyrgios, Millman, De Minaur, you either get one or the other. It's never a neutral combination. They're either on fire or they're just not playing well. So that should be. I think the Australia Spain match should be interesting.
Like,
But Greece, like as you said, they only have Tsitsipas, and if that two-player rule is true, I don't see them having much of a chance at all. What do you think?
yeah, I agree because yeah, they don't have any, like, it's Tsitsipas and then it's a big drop off. So yeah, I agree that Millman could give Batista a good match, but like if it even if it's not if it's not just two players per team, like I'm still taking Nadal and whoever plays doubles with him over whoever, because I know Kyrgios isn't playing ATP Cup, so like
Yep.
whoever Australia has, if it's not the best two, if it's not just the two singles players playing doubles, like even then I'm taking Spain, so like pretty confidently. So yeah, I think I expect them to get out of that group.
Mhm. All right. Moving on to Group C, we have Austria, Italy, and France. And now I know I said Group B was a toss-up, but you pretty much made me change my mind because I forgot that Bautista Agut he's a top 10 player, so that 1-2 punch is going to be dangerous. But I think this is a group that could truly be a toss-up because Austria, all they have is theme, but then Italy, they have Fonini and Berrettini, who are both solid singles players, and then France with Monfils and who would their first singles player be? I don't. It would be Benoit Paire. So Monfils will play as the one for France, and Benoit Paire is the two. So those two are just absolutely fun to watch on TV. So I think this group is actually the biggest toss up out of the four.
Yeah, yeah, I'd still say Group A is my biggest toss up, but yeah, let's see, I'm reading here that they can play whoever they want in doubles. So yeah, I think some teams are going to bring their double specialists, but yeah, nonetheless, that doesn't change what I think about Group B. Still Spain, and yeah, Group A, that just reinforces Group A being my biggest toss up. So uh, let's see what
You think
else.
there's a clear favorite in Group C?
Let's not yeah, that this is also a pretty, like, it might be a pretty unpredictable. I could see, because yeah, same thing as not to the degree of Greece, because Dennis Novak isn't as, like, yeah, I know of him, like, but it's still a pretty decent drop off from their number one to their number two with Austria. Um, if if Italy is hot, um, but you could honestly say the same thing about France. If
Has
both of those
Team
are,
has Team ever beaten Berrettini? I'm pretty sure Berrettini has never lost a Team.
I'm not sure, but I do know that team absolutely owns Monfils. Like, that's a really lopsided head to head. I know that, but yeah, I don't know if Austria will get through it just on the back of team. So I think in this group I'd yeah, I'll go with it. I'll go with Italy in this group, just because Monfils didn't look good after the restart last year, and Benoit's like, he's a firecracker. So like
He's
he
entertaining.
he is he's dangerous too when when he's playing well, but he can be like, it's just too in and out mentally, so he can be thrown off so easily. And yeah, and honestly, like same can be said about Fogs to a much lesser degree, but yeah, I'll go with Italy in C.
All right. And I know I've tossed up the term wild card or toss up for these groups, but then there's Group D. I think there's a clear cut favorite here, similar to Group D with Spain. Group D is Russia, Argentina, and Japan. And it's hard to see anyone beating the Medvedev Hachinov. No, not Hachinov, Rublev.
Yeah.
That's a solid pairing of singles players right there. So I think they're the favorites in Group D.
I agree. I think it's pretty clear cut here because Rublev's a top 8 player. There's not a single team with 2 top 8 players. So yeah, I think this is pretty clear cut. I think Russia will win this group. But I am excited to see Nishikori back. He came back. He was playing after the restart, and he was already dealing with injuries throughout the course of the past year or so. So I mean, he's always dealt with these injuries, and yeah, it'll be good. It'll just be good to see if he can make his way, because he did the same thing like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure he was injured and he made his way back to the top 8. So it'll be good to see him back and see if he has any more left in his tank.
Yeah, I'm looking at the matchups right now in that group, and they play day 2. They're in the night session. Japan's second singles player is Nishioka, who I'm pretty sure is a well established. Yeah, he's ranked 57th in the world, so he's well established. But again, he's not like Rublev, the number 8 player in the world.
Nishioka I think he can give a match to even Rublev. Like he can play him tough. Because he's really scrappy, he's really consistent, and he played Rafa tough last year, and I think that was like 7-6, 6-4 or something a year ago at ATP Cup. And
I remember that. That was a match that I should not have been nervous about, but I was.
Yeah, he had him on the ropes in the first set, and he also was up 2-0 on Murray in at the U.S. Open earlier this year, or this 2020 in the U.S. Open. He was up 2-0 and lost that. But yeah, he's really solid. He's really consistent on an off day. I think he could give Rublev trouble. And we haven't talked about Argentina, but Diego Schwartzman's always going to be a feisty. He's going to be a tough out. He's going to be a tough out for anybody, pretty much. Absolutely. Unless like Medvedev's on form. If he's on form, he'll take him easily. But anything like Schwartzman, like he can make anybody work, like any top player work, if they're not on like their A game. If they're on their A game, they'll probably blow him away. But if not, he usually plays everyone tough. And him and Medvedev had a pretty like memorable encounter last year when those two were kind of beefing on court, and their I think that was a group stage match also.
When was this? They had an argument on court?
Yeah, not an argument, but I'm pretty sure.
Was it at the ATP Cup?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure after the match, like
I'm seeing it now on ESPN. The title is Daniil Medvedev loses cool but lifts Russia to ATP Cup semifinal.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that was just
Oh, I think I remember this.
yeah, he just
Medvedev was arguing about a code violation,
yeah.
and I think Schwartzman just started telling him to, like, I think just quit it and play tennis, and that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Schwartzman called him an idiot in that at some point last, but
That's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, nonetheless, I mean, Medvedev was when he was good, when he was really playing well at the World Tour Finals. This when he won like a couple of months ago, I think the last group stage, he played probably his best match of that whole tournament, which is saying something. When he played Schwartzman, I'm pretty sure it was like 2-2 or something. It was really like he just blew him off the court. So yeah, if he's playing that well, then that's you're probably gonna get something straightforward like that.
Yeah,
But
Medvedev.
yeah,
I was just
yeah,
gonna say Medvedev is coming into 2021 on a strong resume. He won in London at the World Tour Finals, beating Djokovic and Nadal. I know he beat Nadal in the semis, but then he also beat Thiem
yeah,
in the finals. I'm pretty sure he did beat Djokovic, right? He beat all three of them.
yeah. He beat Djokovic, Nadal, Thiem. Yeah. He beat all three of them.
All right, yeah, all right. So we talked about all four groups, and now, for the fun of it, we are going to go through every matchup and we'll predict our winners. So, who do you think who's going to win Group A? Serbia versus Germany.
Um, yeah, I'll say Serbia. I like, yeah, because I think that'll come down to doubles. To be honest, I
Mm.
like Lajovic played some of the best tennis of his life during ATP Cup last year. I'm pretty sure he only lost one match. So
Yeah, Bautista Agut.
yeah, so I don't anticipate that happening again. So I think Struff will win and push that to doubles. And yeah, I'll still go with Serbia in on that one.
And what about Serbia, Canada?
This one's tough. This one's tough. I mean, I really want to pick the upset. Um, because I think Djokovic. I think this will also come down to doubles, but Shapo's pretty good at dubs, and on it, yeah, I think they would play their two best singles players in doubles regardless, because Milos has such a big serve.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Canada to win that, but
Well, that is certainly an upset. And Canada versus Germany, I'm gonna go with Canada. I think Shapo can beat Zverev, and I think Raonic can beat whoever Germany's second guy is. Oh, you said Struff, right? Yeah, I think that's a 2-0 sweep.
well, yeah, if I'm picking Serbia though, I have to pick Germany to beat Canada. So, you know, yeah, I think Zverev will beat Shapovalov, but yeah, I'd anticipate all of these going down to doubles, honestly, because I, I actually Struff could beat Raonic, but yeah, I'll say that'll come down to doubles, and you know, since I have Serbia go advancing, I have to say Germany will win that. So
Yeah, all right. In Group B, I think we both would be predicting Spain to win both against Greece and Australia. So the important matchup here, I think, would be the Greece Australia match. Who do you think wins that?
yeah, I'll go Spain 2-0 on that. I'll go Spain in 2 on that. What about you? You think it'll go 3 or to deciding one, or you think it'll, because I don't, CT Boss isn't, CT Boss is It's a bad
I
matchup
think,
for
yeah.
him against
Spain
Nadal.
versus Greece, I'll go 2-0 Spain. And then I think I'll also go 2-0 against Australia. And then the Greece versus Australia matchup, who do you have in that?
Um, yeah, I'll say Australia. Just the home crowd won't be as big a factor this year. So, but yeah, I'll still go Australia just because I just I don't nobody besides Tsitsipas is like relevant on Greece. So
Yeah. And I'll take Australia too because Demonor is probably going to be the guy I root for after Nadal retires. My go-to player to watch.
hmm.
All right, Group C. I think the most interesting matchup here is Italy versus France. Nothing against Austria, but I think likes Greece, all they have is team. So I don't think they're going to win this group. But who do you think wins between Italy and France?
I'll go France just because
Hmm.
what but Berrettini is pretty like just big serve, big forehand, and he could lose some offies, but I think Fonini will beat Pair, and I say that'll go three, and I'll say Italy wins that.
Uh-huh. I'm actually going to go Italy. I think there's a chance it goes, most likely it will go 3 matches. Will come down to the doubles. But I just love Fonini. As a Nadal fan, it's weird to say I love Fonini, but like just the way he plays and his character on the court, can't root against him.
Fonini
And I
really,
think, yeah, I think Berrettini beats Malfise. I don't even know which Malfise we're gonna expect. He
yeah,
used to be known as like the entertainer on the court, and now all of a sudden he's playing a lot more serious, which I'm not
yeah,
that big a fan of. I like entertaining Malfise a lot more, but I think Berrettini beats Malfise, and I think Fonini beats Benoit Paire. I think it's 2-0 sweep there. And I think Italy wins the group.
yeah. I if team doesn't win all his singles matches in this group, because I don't anticipate Austria advancing out of the group, but teams should beat both win both the singles matches regardless. Like 'cause he's by far the best singles player in this group.
I agree with that, but it just depends on how Dennis Novak plays,
Well,
which don't know
with
much about
him,
him.
yeah, with him, I don't think it's as bad as like Greece, but like because
Yeah, I agree with that.
both Pear and Fognini are both guys that can beat anybody, but well, not even honestly. Like they they're really hot and cold. So on
Yeah,
their
I
bad
agree.
days, they can lose to anybody. And like Dennis Novak is like I could see that. Dennis Novak is like I'm pretty sure I've at least heard of him. So like if he's just solid, like I could, though either of those guys on a bad day could lose to him, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I agree. And Group D, I think we both agree that Russia will come out on top pretty easily.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
who do you think will pose a bigger challenge to Russia, Argentina or Japan?
With a good Nishikori, I'd say Japan, but I don't think we should expect that like right out of the gates because
Yeah, I
he's
think
just not
Russia
that.
2-0 is both Argentina and Japan, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. So just because of Diego, I'll say Argentina will give the bigger challenge. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think Russia will sweep this group.
Mhm. Well, by this time next week, the matches will have started, and I think we would have already. Will we have finished the entire ATP Cup by next week, or no? Does it even
Let's see.
start next week?
I'm pretty. When did I?
It starts February 2nd.
Yeah, that's right. So
It's only 4 days long. It ends on the 6th, so they're going fast. So they're playing every other day. And
yeah,
then if you make the semis and make the finals, that's 2 days in a row of playing. So it's like a Masters 1000 almost.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say next week this time we'll be having more to talk about. Hopefully the matches are good,
Mm-hmm.
but it should be interesting to watch.
Honestly, yeah, I'm just some closing thoughts. Like, I'm honestly surprised that both Nadal and Djokovic are playing this event like this year, because like last year Nadal, I know he hasn't played as much tennis as he did last year coming in, but like there's 2 days in between when this ends and when the Australian Open starts. So
That's a
like
good point.
I didn't think Nadal would be playing this year, but at the same time I understand that he needs to get some match play in. He
You
doesn't need
also,
to,
it's
but
hard to. Sorry, go ahead.
he doesn't need to, but it's like it's you'd encourage match play, but it's gonna be playing for like 3-4 days in a row. Not in a row, but 2 to 3 days total. So, and last year I didn't think I did think that fatigue kind of hampered him.
I agree. I
So
think fatigue and against, well, at least against Dean, he didn't. I don't know if it had to do completely with fatigue, but he didn't take advantage of the opportunities that were given. But it could have
yeah,
been because of fatigue. I don't know.
I don't take that loss up to fatigue. Like, I don't blame fatigue on that loss, because I thought he was in form his third by the time he hit his third round in Australia in Australian Open last year, and he played pretty well against Busta, Kyrgios, and Team. So, but the first he was sluggish his first two matches, and he was sluggish through ATP Cup. Like, I don't blame last year's Australian Open on fatigue, but I'm just surprised at 35 that I didn't think he would be play in his age 30. He's not 35 yet, but what will
He
be
will
his
be.
age
Yeah,
35
yeah.
season. I'm surprised that he decided to play this year, and same with Djokovic. Djokovic has never needed for
A
like
warm up. Yeah,
a warm up to do well in Melbourne, but I think both of them. I think national pride had something to do with it.
yeah.
'Cause both these guys,
I agree with that.
all the Europeans pretty much, like they really take these team events seriously, and like
Especially with the Olympics being
yeah,
potentially canceled
exactly.
again. So this is like one of their few opportunities to play for country, and it's hard for anyone to pass up on that opportunity. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the on the other side of the coin, there's like match play, which
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's not it's not as bad as like last year for Nadal. Like, they haven't played tennis in a long time, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't wait to watch. But yeah, that wraps up this week's episode of the pod. Next week we'll do more of a breakdown on the matches. Hopefully there are some good ones. Hopefully there are surprises because those are always fun to talk about. And next week we also have a very special guest, so tune in for that.